Forget the listicles. The boring operators actually clearing real money? They didn't try everything. They picked one business, studied it cold, ran it for years. We picked our 3 deepest dives, 30 hours of research each, 90 hours total, and stacked them into one video. Here's the play. Part 1. Dave Menz didn't build his laundromats. He bought them. One deal returned 101% of cash in year 1. Net worth now, $3.8 million. Part 2. Steve Slagle owns one ice machine on a Florida sidewalk. $2,500 a month. 84% gross margin, the highest in vending. Part 3. Joshua Brown turns a 30-cent chemical mix into $250 of profit per driveway. $150,000 a month. Stick to the end. The most uncomfortable margin in this whole video is hiding in Part 3. The laundromat owner you walk past every day is probably worth more than your accountant. Quietly. I spent 30 hours researching this one business, Dave Menz, 4 locations, $1.8 million a year in revenue, a personal net worth over $3.8 million. He was a phone company employee until he stopped building things and started buying them. That one sentence is the whole video. Here's what I kept finding in every single case study. The people getting rich in laundromats aren't opening new ones. They're buying tired ones from tired owners for 2 to 5 times net operating income, flipping the math in 90 days and stacking a second location 12 months later. It's the opposite of everything hustle culture teaches you, and that's exactly why it still works. Let me show you what I actually learned. Because by the end of this, I want you to either take a laundromat seriously or be able to explain out loud why it's wrong for you. No in between. So what is this business really? A laundromat is a coin-operated or card-operated self-service laundry. Customers walk in. They load a washer with clothes and detergent. They pay $4 to $8 per wash and about 25 cents a dryer minute. They leave 90 minutes later with clean clothes. You don't touch a single shirt. Your product isn't laundry. Your product is access. Access to clean, working machines in a safe, well-lit space. And here's the thing most beginners miss. A good laundromat doesn't just rent machines. It stacks 5 revenue streams on top of each other. Self-service wash and dry is the base. Wash and fold service, now where you charge by the pound, can run $1.50 to $2.25 per pound. And it's the highest margin add-on in the entire industry. Then you've got vending, detergent, soda, snacks. Then commercial contracts with gyms, salons, Airbnb cleaners. Then a dry cleaning drop-off where you take a cut from a partner. Any one of those can add $1,000 a month to an average location. Stacked together, they're the difference between a struggling mat and a great one. Okay, let's talk startup costs, because this is where most people get scared, and where the smart money gets excited. There are 2 paths. Path A is buying an existing laundromat. Path B is building one from scratch. And I'm going to be honest with you, for a first-time owner with less than $200,000 in cash, Path B is almost always the wrong answer. Here's why. Building new means you're paying full retail for everything. Lease deposit, $15,000 to $40,000. Build out of the plumbing and electrical, $40,000 to $80,000. Washers, 10 to 20 machines at Speed Queen prices, $80,000 to $200,000. Dryers, $30,000 to $80,000. Card system, water heater, signage, permits. You're staring at $230,000 to $530,000 before you serve a single customer. And you have 0 revenue history to show a bank. You're begging. Path A flips all of that on its head. You're not buying machines. You're buying a running business with a customer base, a proven lease, and cash flow. You can walk in on Monday and collect. Say small distressed laundromats trade for $80,000 to $150,000. Mid-tier deals run $200,000 to $400,000. With an SBA 7 alone, your down payment might only be 10 to 30%. For a mid-tier deal, realistic total cash-in is $60,000 to $220,000. I want to walk you through one real deal, because the numbers are almost comical. A buyer at a site called Laundromats 101 documented their first laundromat purchase publicly. Purchase price: $105,000. Down payment: $36,750 because they didn't qualify for an SBA loan. Signage, repairs, branding. $12,400. Total cash out of pocket. $49,150. Year 1 revenue after improvements. Art $155,200. Year 1 net profit. $49,864. So their year 1 return on investment? 101%. Listen to that again. They earned back every dollar they invested. In 12 months. 12 months. 12 months later, they bought a second laundromat for $28,000 cash, now appraised at $75,000. This isn't a fairy tale. This is what acquisition math looks like when the seller is retired, tired, and underrunning the business. Let me give you real income numbers so you know what a realistic ceiling looks like. A struggling laundromat does $5,000 to $8,000 a month gross, with maybe $1,000 to $3,000 net. Average ones do $10,000 to $15,000 gross, $3,000 to $5,000 net. Good ones do $15,000 to $25,000 gross, $5,000 to $10,000 net. The top 10%, the multi-unit operators, do $25,000 to $50,000 a month gross, with $10,000 to $30,000 in net profit. Industry profit margins sit between 20% and 35% after all costs. And here's the part nobody tells you. Your biggest expense isn't labor. Most mats aren't even attended. It's utilities. Water, sewer, gas, electric. That's 20% to 30% of your revenue, right there. Rent is another 15% to 22%. And there is one unbreakable rule from every successful operator I read. Your rent must stay under 25% of gross revenue. If the landlord pushes you past that line, your business is already dead. You just don't know it yet. Now let's bring this to Sam. Because this video isn't just research, it's a playbook for the person staring at an average paycheck and wondering if there's another way. Sam runs a rural mail route, postal carrier. He clears $5,200 a month after taxes, about $62,400 a year. It's stable, pension track. But it's a ceiling, and he feels it. He's got $18,000 in a savings account and another $45,000 in a retirement account he doesn't want to touch. On paper, Sam has zero business experience, no business degree, no network, no clue. But Sam has two things the spreadsheet crowd underrates. He drives the same 60-mile loop every single day. And he notices the same 3 laundromats along that loop, because he delivers their mail. One of them has a Craigslist sign in the window that's been there for 8 months. Here's where it got interesting for me. Because Sam doesn't need a course. He doesn't need a certification. He doesn't need permission. He needs a decision. And the decision isn't whether to start a business. The decision is whether to keep building the same career ladder or to buy the cash flow someone else already built. That's the mechanism I want to burn into your brain. I'm calling it buy, don't build. 3 words. It's not new. Charlie Munger said the same thing for 50 years. Buy a wonderful business at a fair price. Dave Menz built a $3.8 million net worth by living it. You don't create cash flow, you acquire it. And you acquire it from someone who no longer wants to run it. Now let me be fair to you. I told you I wanted you to be able to walk away from this video with a real reason to say no. So here are the 5 ways laundromats quietly kill first-time owners. Every one of these is from documented failure cases. Number 1. Bad location. The building isn't on a main commercial street, or there's not enough customer density within a 5 to 7 minute drive. Laundromats live and die on foot traffic and driver visibility. A great operator in a bad spot still loses. Number 2. No parking. One study found 40% of drivers in the US avoid a business without its own parking area. 40%. That's not a small leak, that's a hole in the boat. Number 3. The lease eats the profit. Remember that 25% rule? If the landlord has annual rent escalators tied to inflation, and we're in a high inflation year, your rent can outrun your revenue. One documented case showed a laundromat sold at a loss within 18 months of a rent hike. 18 months. Gone. If the lease has uncapped escalators. You walk away. Period. Number 4. Old equipment. Machines that are 10 to 15 years old eat about $180 a month each in repairs, and they consume roughly 40% more utilities than modern equipment. An unbeatable deal on a laundromat with ancient washers isn't a deal. It's a repair bill with a front door. Number 5. Undercapitalized. This is the big one. Buyers skip the operating reserve. They put every dollar into the purchase price, walk in on day 30. And a sewer line cracks. $15,000 surprise. They can't cover it. The business collapses in 90 days. Not because it wasn't profitable, but because they never had 6 months of operating reserves in the bank. $30,000 to $60,000. Non-negotiable. You see what I'm getting at? None of these are scary. They're all avoidable if you do the due diligence before you sign. You pull 3 years of tax returns. You pull 12 months of water bills because water consumption is literally a lie detector test for revenue. You sit at the laundromat for 30 days counting machine cycles with a clicker. You get a plumbing camera down the sewer line for $300 because that $300 saves you $30,000 in surprise repairs. You have an equipment tech inspect every washer and dryer. You verify the lease directly with the landlord, not through the seller. 8 steps. I'd 1 weekend of your life. If the seller fights any of those 8, walk away, because whatever they're hiding is worse than whatever you think it is. Who should actually do this? Someone with $60,000 or more in liquid cash. Someone who lives within 30 minutes of the laundromat they want to buy. Someone comfortable enough with their hands to change a belt on a dryer, or willing to pay a service tech $100 an hour. Someone willing to stand behind the counter for the first 90 days, learning the customers before changing anything. Someone who wants stable, recession-resistant cash flow, not rocket ship growth. Who should not do this? Anyone trying to be absentee from day 1. Anyone with less than 6 months of operating expenses in reserve. Anyone in a market with 5 or more laundromats already in one zip code. And anyone who thinks customer phone calls at 9 p.m. about a jammed coin slot sound fun. They don't. They're just worth it. So here's Sam's 30-day action plan. And this is the part where I want you to actually write something down. Days 1 through 5. Read 1 book on buying a laundromat and listen to 5 podcast episodes from real operators. Learn the vocabulary. Learn what a turns per day metric is. Learn what a triple net lease is. Pay the tuition in hours, not dollars. Days 6 through 10. Call every Speed Queen, Dexter, and Continental distributor in your metro area. Ask them 1 question. Are any of your customers thinking about retiring? These reps know which laundromats are profitable and which owners are tired. This is how Dave Menz found 3 of his 4 locations. The best deals never hit the public market. Mind days 11 through 15. Drive your target zip codes. List every laundromat you see. Walk into 10 of them. Find the owner. Ask 1 question. Have you ever thought about selling? 80% will say no. 5% will say yes immediately. The other 15%, those are your real leads. Days 16 through 20. Pull every listing on BizBuySell in your state. Filter anything priced over 4 times net operating income. Email 5 brokers. Days 21 through 25. Schedule walkthroughs on the 3 most promising leads. Bring the 8-point due diligence checklist we just walked through. Days 26 through 30. Pick the best lead. Submit a letter of intent at 70% of asking price. Begin formal due diligence, tax returns, water bills, equipment inspection, plumbing scope, lease review. And that's your whole first month. No course, no guru, no permission slip, 30 days, 3 real leads, 1 submitted offer. Here's what I'll leave you with. I read 1 book during this research that stuck with me, and it's called The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz. His whole idea is that modern life paralyzes us with too many options, and we end up choosing nothing because every path feels equally uncertain. That is the real enemy of the Sam, who drives past 3 laundromats a day. He isn't missing opportunity. He's drowning in it. Yes, laundromats sound boring. That's the point. Boring is what nobody else competes for. Boring is what the internet bro doesn't make a course about because there's no upsell. Boring is why Dave Menz built a $3.8 million net worth while his neighbors watched. If you could only take one action this week, just one, it's this. Open your phone, look up the 3 closest laundromats to your house, and write down their addresses. That's it. Not buy one, not quit your job, not call a banker, just write down the addresses. Because the second you have those 3 addresses on a notepad, you've already done more than 99% of the people who will watch this video. And the door is officially open. Now it's your move. 30 cents of water becomes $2.50 of ice in 47 seconds. And a guy named Steve Slagle does nothing to earn it. Steve runs a business called Beachside Ice. It's one machine. It sits in a beach town. It pulls in about $2,500 every single month, while he surfs, sleeps, and drives his kids to school. He calls it almost passive. The industry calls it the highest margin vending play in America. I call it the cleanest, boring business I have researched all year. If you watched my last video on the 5 boring $20,000 machines that pay you forever, ice vending was business number 1. Today, I'm going deep on it. 30 hours of research. Real operators. Real manufacturer prices. Real failures. And Sam's 30-day action plan at the end, so you can go from watching this video to owning one of these machines step by step. This is easy mode money. Let's unpack it. So what is this business actually? Strip away the hype. You buy a machine the size of a small shed. You park it on somebody else's property, a marina, a feed store, a Mexican restaurant. You plug it into a water line and a power line. That's it. The machine freezes its own ice, bags it, stacks it, and sells it 24/7. People walk up, swipe a card, and a 10-pound bag drops into a chute. No employees, no wholesale inventory, no spoilage. A bag of ice cannot go bad. And here's the absurd part. Water from the tap costs you almost nothing. Electricity to freeze it costs pennies. The plastic bag costs you a dime. All in. Each bag costs you somewhere between 25 cents and 40 cents to produce. You sell that bag for $1.50, $2, sometimes $3. The gross margin? Between 84 and 90%. That is one of the highest margins in the entire vending industry. Not close. Now let's talk real money. Real manufacturer prices. I called the 4 brands that dominate this space, and here's what I found. Ice House America. The biggest US brand, runs between $43,000 and $150,000 fully installed. Their average install sits around $115,000. Cooler Ice comes in cheaper, $30,000 to $80,000. Everest Ice and Water sits in the middle, $25,000 to $60,000, and Nixer, the Chinese import brand, starts at just $7,000 for the smallest unit. You can also buy used, or usedvending.com. Lists bagged ice machines starting around $15,000. But I'm warning you now. Used cooling systems fail. Parts are expensive. One real operator on the Carwash Forum, handle Harley Grant, said, quote, "I've been putting a lot of money into the cooling system for the unit this summer. Used is a gamble. New is the boring play. So what does a first machine actually cost you? Let me run the real math. Mid-tier new machine, say an Everest or a cooler, $35,000 to $50,000. Concrete pad, electrical, plumbing, another $1,000 to $5,000. Permits, business license, food handler card in some states, another $500 to $2,000. Signage and the basic marketing you'll need, $500 to $2,000. First batch of ice bags, about $250. An LLC plus a $1 million general liability insurance policy, another $800 to $1,500. Total realistic startup? Between $38,000 and $62,000 for one machine in a good location. The cheapest possible entry? Around $20,000 with a small Nixer unit on family land with a DIY install. That's the unicorn case. Now here's where I want you to meet Harry. Harry is a dental assistant in Corpus Christi, Texas. He pulls in about $51,000 a year after taxes. Call it $42.50 a month. He's 31. He's got a 2-bedroom apartment, a used Toyota, and a savings account with $22,000 in it. From 3 years of stacking. Harry is the guy this business is actually built for, Not a millionaire, not a broke dreamer, a working person with a cushion. See, Harry sees Steve's beach machine and thinks, why not me? Here's what Harry's day looks like 3 months in. Tuesday morning. He finishes his dental shift at 4 p.m. He drives 10 minutes to his machine. It sits in the corner of a bait and tackle shop parking lot near a boat ramp. He unlocks the front panel. He counts the bags sold since last Tuesday. 218 bags. At $2.50 each, that's $545 for the week. He restocks the empty bag roll. He pulls the cash, reconciles it with the card reader. He sweeps the pad. 28 minutes total. Then he drives home and eats dinner with his wife. That's the whole job. Now let's get to the income numbers, the real ones. Steve Slagle's Beachside Ice pulls about $2,500 a month in what he openly calls almost passive profit. Source for that is a Side Hustle Nation interview. He is a real, verifiable operator. An operator on the Carwash Forum who goes by Anna Lesher has run 4 machines in Texas for over a decade. Quote, "It has been a profitable business for me," but he added a warning. Quote, "It is weather dependent and you do have to sell a lot of ice to make a little bit of money. Average location math looks like this. 25 to 35 bags per day at $2.50. That's about $1,800 to $2,600 a month in gross revenue. Subtract your cost of goods. Water, electric, bags. Roughly 12%. That's $225. Site lease to the property owner, typically $300 a month. Insurance and permits, amortized monthly, about $100. Maintenance reserve, another $100. Your net profit per machine at an average location, about $1,150 a month. At a great location, $2,500 to $3,500 a month net. Payback timeline, typical 10 to 24 months. Best case, 3 to 6 months if you bought cheap and picked a great spot. Worst case, never. Which brings me to the part most YouTube videos on this skip. It's not actually passive. I need you to hear this. It is not actually passive. A real operator running 3 machines posted on Reddit that he spends about 5 hours a week servicing them. And after you do the math, he's earning roughly $10 to $20 an hour of actual hands-on time. His quote, "Vending is not fully passive income. I'd call it semi-passive, like 70% passive. Weather dependency is the second reality check. In cold winter states, revenue drops 40 to 60% from November through March. Northern operators commonly run at a seasonal loss in winter and make it back in summer. That's why the profitable operators cluster in Florida, Texas, so Georgia, Arizona, the Carolinas. Warm states dominate this business. And then there's the failure story nobody tells you. Same Carwash Forum, different user. Handle Tex Heat. He described a local ice house owner in his town with 2 machines who a full year in was still in the red. Quote, he and his wife still work their daytime job. 1 year, 2 machines. Still losing money. The reason was simple, location. His machines were in the wrong spots. For the wrong customers. The machine is not magic. The location is the magic. Which brings me to the part almost nobody teaches, how you actually find and secure a location. This is the step where most first-timers quit before they even start. So let me give you the playbook. Step 1. Open Google Maps. Draw a 15-minute circle around your house. Inside that circle, list every marina, on every Mexican restaurant, every feed and farm store, every RV park, every gas station without its own ice freezer, every liquor store. Those are your A-list targets. Marinas are the highest ice intent location in America because boaters buy ice every single trip. Rank your list. Score them A, B, or C. Step 2. Walk in. Do not email. Every real operator agrees on this. Walking in works about 5 times better than emailing. Property owners say no to emails by default. They say, "Tell me more," to a human standing in front of them. Step 3. Use a 30-second pitch. Here is mine. Hi, my name is Harry. I run a small ice business and I'm looking for 1 or 2 great spots in this part of town. I install a machine that takes 2 parking spaces. I cover all the install, the water hookup, and the maintenance. You don't lift a finger. In exchange, I either pay you $300 a month flat, or I split the revenue with you around 10%. Most of my locations make the property owner $200 to $500 a month in pure profit. Can I take 5 minutes to show you where it might fit on your lot? That's the pitch. Word for word, use it. Step 4. Get it in writing. 1 year minimum, 3 years ideal. A 60-day termination clause. You carry the $1 million liability policy and you add them as additional insured. That last move costs you about $50 a year and closes more deals than any other thing you can offer. Okay? So who should actually do this? Right fit is someone in a warm state with $30,000 to $60,000 liquid or an SBA loan in hand, living within 30 minutes of where they'd park the machine, willing to do cold in-person sales on location. That last filter is the real one. If you cannot walk into a feed store and pitch, this business is not for you. And someone who wants $1,500 to $3,000 extra per month, not someone who wants to quit their day job tomorrow. This is a side income machine. Hide becomes a full income machine at 6 or 8 or 10 units, and that takes years. Wrong fit? Anyone in a cold winter state without a snowbird plan. Anyone with less than $30,000 liquid because one breakdown in month 4 will wreck you. Anyone who thinks they'll park it on their own driveway. Driveway locations make you $200 a month, not $2,000. There's a book I kept thinking about while researching this one. It's called Money Magic by Lawrence Kotlikoff. Kotlikoff is a Boston University economist. His core idea is that the smartest money moves are the ones that quietly raise your lifetime spending floor without changing your daily life at all. A well-placed ice machine is exactly that. It doesn't make you rich. It raises your floor, it pays your car note, it pays your kids' braces, or it pays your property tax, forever. And the moment you realize that what you're actually buying is a higher floor, not a lottery ticket, the whole game changes. So here is Sam's 30-day action plan. Step by step. Day 1 through 3. Research. Watch the Side Hustle Nation interview with Steve Slagle. Read the Carwash Forum Ice Vending thread. Check your state's food permit rules because ice counts as food in some states. Day 4 through 7. Build your Google Maps target list. 25 locations within 15 minutes of home. Score them A, B, C, day 8 through 10. Call all 4 manufacturers. Icehouse America, Cooler Ice, Everest, Nexer. Get written quotes. Compare dealer networks. Day 11 through 17. Walk into your top 10 targets. Use the pitch. Get 1 to 2 verbal yeses. Day 18 through 21. Run the math on the verbal yeses. Calculate break even at 25 bags a day. If the numbers work, sign the lease. Day 22 through 25. File the LLC. Get the business license. Open a business bank account. Apply for the food handler permit if your state requires one. Bind your insurance policy. Day 26 through 30. Order the machine. Schedule the install. Print a sticker with your phone number for the front of the machine. Day 31. Fire it up. First customer usually walks up within 24 hours. Here's the cumulative math that locked this in for me. 1 machine at a good location, $2,500 a month net, $30,000 a year, 10 years, $300,000 of almost passive income from a single shed sitting on someone else's parking lot. And if Harry stacks a second machine in year 2 and a third in year 4, he is running $90,000 a year by year 6 while still working his dental job. Not rich, not a lottery ticket. Just a quiet, boring floor that keeps rising. So here's the challenge. This week. Not next month. This week. Open Google Maps, draw the 15-minute circle. List 5 marinas, feed stores, or Mexican restaurants near you. Walk into one of them. Use the 30-second pitch. That's it. You don't have to buy a machine yet, you just have to hear the first no, or the first tell me more, out loud. Because that single conversation is the thing that separates people who watch these videos from people who run machines like Steve's. And when you do it, come tell me in the comments which location said yes. I read every single one. Because the next video in this series goes deep on the exact vending lease template and the 5 insurance clauses that protect you when something goes wrong. I'll see you there. 30 cents of chemical, $250 of profit. That's 1 driveway. I spent 30 hours researching the pressure washing business because I could not believe those margins. And what I found made me genuinely uncomfortable. A high school kid in Florida named Chase Lil is already pulling $12,000 a month with this. A guy named Joshua Brown runs a company called Brown's Pressure Washing that does $150,000 a month. His startup cost? $1,500. No degree, no license, no skill gate. You can start it this weekend with what's already in your garage. So I went deep. I pulled every Reddit thread, every upflip interview, every forum post on the pressure washing resource site. I read real operators complaining about killed flowers and etched concrete. I read the race to the bottom pricing wars, and I found the exact mechanism. That separates the guys doing $2,000 a week from the guys doing $2,000 a month. I'm calling it the cashier to crew chief method, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how it works. Let me tell you about Harry first. Harry works the graveyard shift at a gas station, 11 at night to 7 in the morning, $2,800 a month take home, stale coffee, buzzing fluorescent lights, and a rotating cast of drunk customers who tap their card before he even says hello. Harry's 29. He rents a studio above a tire shop. His truck has 240,000 miles on it. His financial state? Stuck. Not broke. Just stuck. And that's the worst kind of stuck because it doesn't hurt enough to force you to move. Then one Tuesday morning, Harry drives home past a strip mall. And he sees a guy in a gray t-shirt blasting bird droppings off the concrete in front of a coffee shop. The guy has a trailer, a machine, a hose, nothing fancy. Harry pulls over. He watches for 10 minutes. Then he asks the guy how much he charges. The guy says $200 for an hour of work. Harry drives home and does not sleep that day. Okay, let me hand you the actual numbers, because this is where most YouTube videos get lazy, and mine won't. Here's what this business actually is. You drive to a residential or commercial property. You blast dirt, mold, algae, and grime off driveways, siding, roofs, and flat work. You charge per job. A driveway runs $100 to $350. A full house wash runs $200 to $500. A roof soft wash runs $300 to $800. Commercial flat work pays 15 cents to 25 cents per square foot. A solo operator can finish 2 to 4 jobs in a day. Now, the startup math. Here's the minimum kit. A Simpson PS 3228 gas pressure washer. 4,200 PSI, 4 gallons per minute, $700 to $900 on Amazon or Home Depot. That's your engine. Then a 16-inch surface cleaner attachment. $150 to $250. A downstream injector that pulls chemical from a bucket. $15 to $40. 200 feet of 3/8 high-pressure hose. $80 to $150. A nozzle kit with 0, 15, 25, and 40-degree tips. $30 to $60. 5-gallon buckets of chemical. $60 to $100. Our LLC paperwork. $50 to $200. First month of general liability insurance. $39 to $75. 2 branded shirts and a pair of magnetic truck signs. $70 to $140. Added up, $1,200 to $1,900. That's it. That is the entire cost of entry to a business where real operators are doing $150,000 a month. Now the chemical side. This is the part nobody tells you. The secret ingredient in pressure washing is not pressure. It's sodium hypochlorite, pool chlorine. You mix 2 gallons of 12.5% sodium hypochlorite with 3 gallons of water and 1 ounce per gallon of a surfactant called eliminator. You pull it through the machine with the downstream injector. You spray. You wait 5 to 10 minutes. You rinse. The house looks new. Total chemical cost for that driveway? About 30 cents. The customer pays $250. I am not exaggerating the margin. That is the margin. Ratios matter. 0.5% to 2.5% sodium hypochlorite for vinyl siding. 3 to 4% for concrete. 4 to 6% for a mossy roof. Too strong and you kill plants. Too weak and the algae laughs at you. And real quick, never use Dawn dish soap. It desuds under pressure and clogs your downstream injector. Watch a Reddit thread, and you'll see that mistake cost a guy his first 10 jobs. Okay, real money, real operators, no fantasy projections. A solo part-timer working weekends only, $1,500 to $3,000 a month. One Reddit operator in the sweaty startup sub documented $2,000 a week working 3 to 4 days while keeping a full-time job. First year gross, $10,000. First year net, $5,500 after expenses. Small numbers, but real. A solo full-timer working 5 days a week, $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Projection Hub, the financial modeling site, estimates a solo operator nets around $5,000 a month on $6,000 in revenue, $39,000 in net profit over a 9-month operating season. Not life-changing, but it's real money, and it clears in under a year. 2-truck operation, $15,000 to $30,000 a month. This is where the identity shift starts. You stop swinging the wand. You start paying a worker to swing it. You become the scheduler, the salesman, the estimator, and then the top tier. Joshua Brown of Brown's Pressure Washing. $150,000 a month, 20 to 30% profit margins. His crews each do 4 houses a day. He holds a $60,000 a year contract with Topgolf. He teaches his method through Upflip Academy. This is not some anonymous guru. This is a real company with real trucks and a real closing rate of 73% on every lead that hits the phone. Or Chase Lil, Florida, still in high school, $12,000 a month in high school. Now, the dark side. Because if I let you go start this without warning you, I'm not doing my job. Number 1. You will etch concrete. If you put a 0-degree nozzle on soft or newly poured concrete, you will remove the top layer and expose the aggregate. There's a Reddit thread right now where a gas station owner refused to pay over $1,000 because the operator allegedly exposed aggregate and caused a visible crack. The fix? Document every surface with photos before you start. Every time, no exceptions. Number 2, you will kill plants. Sodium hypochlorite is bleach. Bleach runoff kills grass and flowers fast. A guy in Ohio did a $200 house wash and the customer woke up to dead flowers and a bleach smell hanging over the whole yard. Pre-wet every plant before you start. Rinse them mid-job, rinse them again after. And even then, disputes happen. Number 3, the race to the bottom. Someone in your market will always quote $99 for what you'd charge $300. One operator on the sweaty startup forum said it perfectly. Anyone can spend $1,000 and call themselves a pro, then work for $15 an hour because they can afford to. Your only defense? Speed of response, 5-star reviews, and branded trucks. Look like a business, not a guy with a hose. Number 4, the seasonal gap. If you live in Minnesota or Michigan or Ohio, your season runs April to October. That's 7 months. Smart operators add Christmas light installation in November and December using the same ladder and the same customer list. The YouTube channel King of Pressure Washing explicitly teaches this pivot. If you're in Florida, Texas, Georgia, or Arizona, none of this applies. You print money all year. Number 5, getting paid. Collect on the day of service. Venmo, Zelle, or Square on the spot. Never leave a driveway without money in your account or a signed invoice. Reddit is full of unpaid invoice horror stories. Here's the part where the wealthy barber comes in. David Chilton wrote this book in 1989, and it has one idea that changed how I think about businesses like this. Chilton says pay yourself first. 10% of every dollar that comes in goes straight into wealth before anything else touches it. Now apply that to pressure washing. You finish a $250 driveway. $25 goes straight into a separate account. That's it. Don't negotiate with yourself. Don't wait until you're profitable. Do it from $1. After 100 jobs, that's $2,500 sitting in a wealth account that you didn't have to feel. After 300 jobs, that's $7,500, which is enough to buy the pro skid and double your revenue per job. The wealthy barber's one rule, applied to a 30-cent chemical margin, is how a cashier becomes a crew chief. And that's the mechanism I promised you. The cashier. To crew chief method, it has 3 moves. Move 1, buy the minimum kit, Do 15 free jobs in the first 60 days. Photograph everything. Move 2. Apply the 10% wealthy barber rule from $1. Use it to upgrade to the pro skid around month 4. Move 3. Hire one worker at $20 an hour to run the new skid while you run the old one. That's when your income doubles because you're no longer trading hours for dollars. You're trading someone else's hours. Who should do this? If you live in the Sun Belt, if you're physically able to drag 100 feet of wet hose, if you have a pickup or can afford a small trailer, if you're willing to knock doors and make calls, if you have $1,500 you won't need for rent, this business was built for you. Who should not? If you have back or knee issues, if you hate the sun, if you expect passive income, if you can't make cold calls, if you live in a northern state without an off-season plan, this isn't it. Pressure washing is active physical labor, honest work, but honest work. And there's one more thing most YouTube videos about this business skip entirely. The physical reality. Your shoulders will burn, your forearms will cramp, your knees will ache from kneeling on concrete. You'll smell like chlorine for the first 3 weeks. And then your body adjusts, and the money starts to feel real. Here's the 30-day action plan, starting from absolute zero. Day 1. Watch 3 videos from King of Pressure Washing on YouTube. Day 3. File your LLC online for $50 to $150. Get a quote from Insurance Canopy for $39 a month. Open a separate business checking account. Day 5. Order your equipment. Design a business name. Print magnetic door signs. Day 7. The gear arrives. Practice on your own driveway. Day 10. Do your first free job for a neighbor. Photograph it. Post before and after on Facebook and Nextdoor. Set up your Google business profile the same day. Day 14. Drop 250 door hangers in the nearest neighborhood with dirty driveways. Day 21. Quote your first paying job. Collect on site. Day 30. Contact 5 realtors and 3 property managers. That's the plan. Now, back to Harry. Harry did exactly this. Not because he was ambitious, because he was tired. Tired of the buzzing lights, tired of the graveyard shift, tired of watching other men's lives from behind a plexiglass counter. He put $1,200 on his tax refund card for the Simpson machine. He printed shirts at Vistaprint. He practiced on his landlord's driveway for free, and the landlord tipped him $40. Month 1. 4 jobs, $600. Month 3. 11 jobs, $2,300. Month 6. 20 jobs and 1 recurring commercial account. $5,100. He kept the gas station job until month 8 because the wealthy barber told him to build the wealth cushion first. Then he quit. Harry is not a cashier anymore. He's not even really a pressure washer. He's a crew chief. He runs 2 trucks. He pays 1 worker. He does the scheduling on an app called Jobber from his kitchen table. And the wild part? He still wears the same gray t-shirt he saw that guy wearing outside the coffee shop. Because the uniform was never the thing. The thing was always the decision to stop being a spectator in his own life. That's who you become when the margin between chemical cost and customer price is this wide. You stop being the guy behind the counter. You become the guy with the trailer. Harry isn't a cashier anymore. He's the crew chief. And that is the identity pressure washing quietly gives you for $1,500.